Welcome back. A year and a half of relentless harassment drove Rhea Parsons to attempt suicide. Her story has many asking what compels people to bully in the first place. Psychiatrist Jackie Kinley joins me now. Hi there. A lot of folks wondering how kids can be so cruel. What makes somebody do something like this and bully someone? What is it that makes up a bully?
Yeah. Well, you know, as I was talking to you a little bit earlier, you know, I think, Amy, one of the things is that kids aren't born bad, right. And kids don't do bad things unless they've been hurt. And kids are often hurt and they're, you know, frightened. And so, you know, kids can be born with a certain temperament which makes them more, you know, prone to being angry. But that in and of itself isn't sufficient to sort of drive kids to do the types of things that we've seen. And so bullying is a complex thing. It comes out of kids being hurt, kids not knowing how to handle their feelings. They're emotional, they don't know what to do with them, and so they often will act out. You know, these are learned behaviors, learning how to settle your body, learning how to deal with your anger, learning how to work through your feelings.
Is there an element of the picking on the weak? So we were talking earlier about Lord of the Flies. That sort of seems to come up.
Well, you know, I think it goes back to this whole concept about things tend to roll downhill, right. And people do tend to pick on people that are weaker. But I think also what happens in the eyes of a bully, where a bully's been victimized and a bully's been hurt, and they see that weakness in somebody else, it's often a part of themselves. It's associated with shame and all these different feelings. And when they see it in somebody else, they don't like it. So bullies don't like to see victims because they've been victimized themselves on some level and they don't like that. And so the weakness is sort of a provocative thing for a bully.
Now, with electronic media, you know, in generations past, you know, maybe if you switch schools, you could get away from the torment. But now you have pictures that go viral, you know, Facebook and Twitter. Yeah. How much harder is it to be a kid bullied today?
I think it's immensely more difficult. It's as we've talked about, I think that, you know, these are weapons of social mass destruction, really, and they're in hands of, you know, children whose brains really aren't developed to cope with them. And so we're asking kids to behave in ways that they're neurobiologically not able to do. They can't deal with the technology. And so when they get angry, they have something at the sort of push of a button. And you know, as adults and as a culture, we really do need to look at it, and we do need to look at, somebody needs to draw a line in the sand about what's acceptable, because these things will happen and they'll continue to happen, sadly so, unless we help our kids, we teach our kids, you know, how to settle their bodies, how to actually look somebody else in the eye. Kids don't do that now, which sort of dehumanizes. That's the whole issue. It sort of dehumanizes things. You can do these things without any empathy, and empathy, compassion, really are the seeds of civilization. Without those, it is Lord of the Flies.
Wow.
So,
a lot to deal with. Jackie Kinley, thank you very much. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it.